full moon in Sagittarius. This full moon at approximately 3 degrees of Sag became exact at 9:53 a.m. New York time and 13:53 Greenwich Mean Time yesterday on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. Romantic vibes are strongly in the air now as the Sun in social and outgoing Gemini sits just 3 degrees away from an exalted Venus and Jupiter. Jupiter is Sagittarius' ruler, of course, which sit together in the powerful final degree of Venus's ruler Taurus. This two-sign Sun-Venus-Jupiter conjunction trines the still exalted in its shadow phase retrograde Pluto in Aquarius, creating a lustful and sensual atmosphere. Pluto, the ruler of sexual Scorpio, also sextiles the full moon in playful and flirtatious Sagittarius. Shortly after this full moon became exact, Venus entered chatty, sociable Gemini, where it will be joined by Jupiter tomorrow, May 25th, and more on this later in this podcast. While Venus is in Gemini through June 17th, it is the absolute best time of the year to meet new people and make new connections, especially in a romantic context. This is definitely the most romantic full moon of the year, and actually in quite a few years. If you're in a romantic relationship, the next 28 days are a great time to cultivate love, romance, and sex, and to become closer with your partner than ever before. Jupiter and Venus pretty much exactly sextile dreamy Neptune, making a Disney romance type energy. It's a wonderful time to go on fun and interesting dates and to indulge in fantasies with your partner. If you're single, the next 28 days are the best time in 2024 to meet a new flame or to cultivate something with someone you're already getting to know. With Pluto being retrograde in open and inclusive Aquarius, you may also feel romantic feelings towards those ex-partners that have stayed in your life in some capacity. With Venus being in Gemini, you may feel romantic feelings towards several different people and have trouble figuring out who you want to invest the majority of your time and energy in. It's a great time to have fun and deep conversations with all the romantic interests in your life and see where the energy is most rich and where it feels most right. Also, with Venus and Jupiter sextiling Neptune, look for hints and guidance about your romantic life in your dreams. Also, with Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Taurus, when the moon reaches its peak fullness, we'll likely be big spenders over the next 28 days. We may especially spend money on social outings, fashion, and art. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign that brings an energy of play, passion, spontaneity to the zodiac. Ruled by optimistic, auspicious Jupiter, the Archer, as Sagittarius is known, and it's a centaur, the Archer is a centaur, serves as a reminder that life without spontaneity, risks, or new experiences is a boring one. Sagittarius reminds us to go after what we really want in life unapologetically and to not be afraid to take some risks on the way there. Look for great opportunities to fall into your lap at this time. Be open to miracles, travel, allow yourself to feel as if you're consciously growing and expanding. The good fortune that finds you during this time will likely nudge you forward or back onto the highest path of your soul in this incarnation. There's a general sweetness and excitement in this air with this full moon. Sagittarius is a sign of optimism. This full moon sits, of course, directly across the zodiac wheel from the Sun in Gemini. We are feeling the fun energy that Gemini season brings and feeling extra social. It's a wonderful time to enjoy social gatherings, meet new people, and just talk a lot in general. We're very chatty at this time. It's a great time to write and journal too, as Gemini rules over written and spoken language. Sagittarius is one of the signs of the zodiac that emphasizes freedom. The Archer prefers to roam free and untied rather than to rest in one place, like Cancer, for example. One of the things to focus on over the next 28 days, and especially the next 2 weeks, is how to bring more freedom into your life. Sagittarius is the ruler of the 9th house, the house of philosophy. Aside from being a roamer and an adventurer, Sagittarius is also the great philosopher of the zodiac. With the Sag full moon, we feel naturally inclined to read books, learn new things, and engage in philosophical discussions. In general, Sagittarius is associated with emotions, adventure, travel, athletics, growth, international affairs, eccentric things, and philosophy. Let's dig deeper into this idea of creating freedom in our lives. Creating freedom in your own life. As the adventurous Archer, the sign of Sagittarius epitomizes freedom. Whether we remember it or not, each and every one of us are eternal creator beings playing in this third-dimensional game for fun, experience, and divine service. It is especially true for those of us that are starseeds that we absolutely knew what we were getting ourselves into when we decided to come to Earth. We knew that we would be entering into a dense third-dimensional world fraught with perils such as war, disease, toxins, and institutionalized socioeconomic inequalities. We also knew that the time would come when we would have opportunity to play a pivotal, divinely guided role in helping to end the disease, strife, environmental toxicity, racism, and economic suppression of the masses that has become the norm in this modern day. For some of you, that role manifests directly via your chosen career or in volunteer philanthropic pursuits. However, for the majority of light workers, our contribution manifests more indirectly through our energetic work. As above, so below, and so within, so without. So if we wish to see energetic and earnest freedom behold the human race, we must strive to experience and express that freedom within our own consciousnesses. Many of us experience a sense of freedom through travel. I'm that way with some outer planets and Sag, as well as my North Node in the 9th house. I literally, earlier, just returned from quite a travel adventure that took way longer than I thought to get back, but an adventure nonetheless, and coming off of our Mount Shasta retreat, which was just absolutely incredible. Just so amazing. And yeah, I always feel like I'm in my element, like I'm living out my purpose, like I'm being me when I'm traveling. So over the next 28 days, it's an awesome time to go on a trip or to plan travel for the future. And hey, if you'd like to join me and a group of spiritual initiates from around the world for a fun, enlightening, and expansive adventure, and when I say adventure, this is really going to be an adventure, our 2025 Peru retreat, the deadline to save 20% is June 1st, so just a week away. That is an 8-day, 7-night, all-inclusive retreat with a bonus day 9, and we are working with an amazing tour company that, actually an American that owns it, who, fell in love with Peru and moved down there, and we are going to go to amazing places like, of course, Machu Picchu and the Temple of the Moon and the UFO Museum and the very famous church down there, Iwadias Church. I hope I pronounced it correctly. But amongst many other things, working with a Kiro shaman. So I know some of you listening are, smiling because you just came off of our amazing Mount Shasta retreat. Some of you listening were thinking about going to Mount Shasta and couldn't make it. The dates didn't work or whatever. Here's another chance, okay? Save 20%. Put down a deposit by June 1st for our Peru retreat. Okay, so go to my website, youaredivinehuman.org. Go to the course events and retreats page. You can see all the info on the Peru retreat. Just click on the link to go to the digital brochure for the Peru retreat. And you can always email me, of course, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com if you'd like to set up a free consultation about the Peru retreat. Here's some questions of inquiry and a journal on to consider as you evaluate the role of freedom in your life. And I'd recommend pausing the podcast in between each question and doing some journaling. And if you like, you can go to the pinned comment below the description box, and you can click the link to the article version of this podcast, and all of the questions are written out for you there. In what ways have I been feeling stifled or stuck in life? And take into account all areas of your life: relationships, career, finances, health, and your inner world. How could I allow for just a little bit more of a sense of freedom and spontaneity in my life while still keeping a healthy structure that allows me to grow long term? What parts of me feel old and need to go? Have I been playing an old character? What kind of things trigger me into playing that old character? What kind of people trigger me into playing that old character? Is there actually anything stopping me from letting these aspects go and stepping into a new recreation of myself? What gives me a feeling of fire and passion? How can I structure my life in a practical way to allow more time to pursue my passions? Where is some place I've always wanted to travel to? Could I make that happen before the end of this year, or maybe by the end of next year? If I can't fully move around the chess piece of my life to my exact liking right now, then could I be more spiritually mature and calm my nervous system more often, teach my nervous system how to feel safe? What daily activities or rituals could help me in doing that? One of the most important lessons that Sag provides to the zodiac is how to be unconventional and to mix things up. Feeling stuck? Don't forget to mix things up. One of the themes that everyone experiences at one point or another is stagnation. When your energy stagnates, you're likely to experience bouts of depression and anxiety. If you feel like you've been stagnating lately, or even if you haven't been, it's best to utilize the energy of the Sagittarius full moon to bring some adventure and variety into your life. The universe will often keep us stuck in a situation where we feel stuck and stifled, so that frustration builds up so much that we finally take a leap of faith and make a big change in our lives. Undoubtedly, there will be choice points in your life plan where your higher self will nudge you to take a leap of faith. Courage usually pays off in these situations, and courage is a very Sagittarian trait. If it's not the time for you to make a big change, then you can shake things up in smaller ways. Perhaps you can plan a game night with your family. Go for a hike in a place you haven't been before. Plant new flowers or trees. Start writing a book. More on that in a minute. Start a new workout routine. Learn Tai Chi or yoga. Make art. Learn an instrument. Go to an art gallery. Go experience a new cafe. Change up the furniture in your house. Design an app or start a YouTube channel. Every time I travel, it reminds me of the expansiveness of life. When you travel, you take yourself out of the daily routine and the habitual thought patterns that you're so used to, and you get out and you see the world and you meet new people and new smells and you taste new food and you feel alive, you feel expanded. And, coming back into my own community, like flying in, I just was reminded that, wow, there is so much here. There is so much here to explore in this area. And it's just incredible. And I'm so grateful for it. And, it's just, the Sagittarius teaches us that variety and getting out and experiencing life is so important, because if not, we do stagnate. And that's, when we're depressed, it's not as simple as this, but it always helps to do something different, do something new. Sometimes it's going out and shopping and wearing something new. Sometimes it's planning a trip. Sometimes it's making a new friend, which I know for a lot of people is easier said than done, right? But, or it's reading a new book, or checking out someone brand new on YouTube that you haven't checked out before. But that variety is just so important, and that's what Sag teaches us. It doesn't always take a huge change in your life to shake off that stagnation. And actually, that's more of the exception rather than the rule. Usually it is just small inputs of newness, of novelty, that can get us right back on our highest path. Adding spontaneity in little ways. And let me know in the comments below, please. I read all the comments. What are you doing? What are you feeling inspired to do to add that element of novelty and spontaneity and mixing things up into your life? Life is meant to be an adventure, although it's easy to forget that on this planet, where life can often be difficult, obstacle-laden, sad, dangerous, or even scary. But it's definitely something that we are not supposed to leave behind completely, no matter what. It's important to find the fun in being human as much as you possibly can with whatever situation you find yourself in. Yes, life is painful at times, but the more we can remember that life is an adventure, the more we're going to enjoy the little things in life. And furthermore, when we view life as an adventure, we are then able to let go of holding on to needing any particular outcome to manifest, because we know that no matter what happens, the adventure will continue. When you're able to let go of needing any one particular outcome to manifest, you place yourself in perfect alignment to draw your dreams to you. Jupiter enters Gemini. As I mentioned earlier, Jupiter ingresses into Gemini, joining the Sun tomorrow on Saturday, May 25th. The Jupiter and Gemini era over the next year will make us focus on social relationships, communication, and discernment. Over the next year, we will see inevitable shifts in our social groups and soul tribes. For us lightworkers, this may mean moving away from people that we've known for a long time, but we may no longer vibrate with, as we move towards new friendships and relationships that complement us vibrationally. Also, for those of you that are writers and authors, the next year is really an auspicious time to undertake a new writing project. And for the rest of you, it's a great time to start journaling again or expand upon your journaling practice. On a world scale, Jupiter and Gemini may manifest as an extreme tightening of the powers that be on the types of information that can be shared on social media platforms. We will likely see new, tighter rules and more restrictive AI across the major social media platforms. It may be a 1984 type energy. We may also see a full-on World War III unfold, unfortunately, while Jupiter is in Gemini. The bombing of Pearl Harbor by the Japanese in 1941 occurred during Jupiter and Gemini, bringing the United States into the war. I believe that we have already been in a quasi-World War III already, in the form of a proxy war going on in Ukraine and in the Middle East over the next few years. I think it's more likely than not that the world war will grow and expand over the next few years. And astrologically speaking, Jupiter in Gemini is one of the pieces leading us that way. Wishing you a happy, fun, and adventurous full moon in Sagittarius with love. This is Matthew John. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you, whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time listener. Do me a favor and hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Write a comment. Let me know what you're excited about, what you're inspired about on the Sagittarius full moon. What sort of novelty and spontaneity are you looking forward to? What are you feeling when it comes to romance in your life? And also please visit the pinned comment below the description box. All my links are there. Go to my website link. It has everything I offer, all my private sessions, Ascending is one, and all the retreats. So not just the Peru retreat, but we have Light on the Hill. That's in New York State coming up in September. We have Sedona coming up next January. And then, of course, the Peru retreat. That's the one I want to focus on today because the 20% off early bird deadline is in a week on June 1st. So if you're interested in the Peru retreat, go to my website, youaredivinehuman.org, youaredivinehuman.org. Go to the course events and retreats page. Scroll down until you see the Peru retreat digital brochure. Has all the information there and the entire schedule. And email me, okay, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com if you're interested. And I'm happy to set up a totally free consultation sometime over next week. We'll go over all the details about the Peru retreat, all the logistics, answer all your questions, make sure you're a good fit, and we can take care of your initial deposit if you want to lock in that 20% off rate. The Mount Shasta retreat was just on another level. It was so good. It was so expansive. I'm feeling incredibly expanded, a bit tired, but very expanded and very happy. And I'm just so grateful for everyone that was there. And it just seems like these retreats are getting better and better. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming ones. And I'm telling you, Peru is going to be something incredible. Not only going to one of the chakras of the earth like we did Mount Shasta being the root chakra of the earth, and Machu Picchu being in Lake Titicaca being the sacral chakra of the earth, where it makes sense. We're going from root to sacral, right? But also just working with a Kiro shaman and going to the UFO museum to see what Peru has as far as actual alien archaeological evidence down there. And just the camaraderie is one of the best parts too. You know, everyone came into the Mount Shasta retreat as strangers and literally left as friends. It was such a tight-knit group, and that was one of the things I'm most proud of actually about how the retreat turned out, is just how much people loved each other by the end and, you know, wanted to stay in touch with each other. A lot of people making friends for life, I think, from our retreat last week. So it is just, my retreats are awesome. Again, email me. Let's set up a consultation if you're interested in the Peru retreat or any of the other upcoming retreats. As I said, Light on the Hill in New York and Sedona as well. If you are more interested in the online programs, the best way to work with me is my popular Ascending as One online program, which the VIP tier of that includes a private reading with me where you can ask me literally anything. Okay, these are calls on Sundays, 3-hour calls. The first hour we go over astrology. So we go over the macro astrology all the way down to the micro astrology, the day-to-day, what is the moon doing and what are the inner planets doing. And I tell you how to plan your week out so that you can best take advantage of the astrology at hand. The second and third hours are the topic for the day. June 2nd is healing your third eye chakra. Okay, you want to open up your third eye? Be there. June 8th, connecting with Atlantis. Okay, we did connecting with Lemuria back in April, and we journeyed to Lemuria in our Mount Shasta retreat. Now we're going to turn the focus to Atlantis. So if you think you may have had lives in Atlantis, or if you have an interest in Atlantis, make sure you join that call. June 15th, Coaching Skills 101. I started out my career as a life coach, and I still incorporate life coaching into my practice as much as I can. I'm going to teach you my secrets on how to be an effective spiritual life coach there. And then June 30th is the VIP only call, so you have to join the VIP tier for that, but it's well worth it. It's Healing Your Feminine Mother Wounds, and our Syrian channeling segment. I connect with a group of 5 very wise Syrian extraterrestrial beings and channel through wisdom, not just for the group, but for the world. And you can check out some examples of the Syrian channeling both here on the Higher Self channel and on my YouTube channel. If you go to the pinned comment below the description box, the link to my channel is there, and there's actually a video that I recently posted of a Syrian channeling on there as well. And again, that VIP tier also gets you a private reading with me. You can ask me anything during that private reading. You want to know if you're a starseed, you want to know about your soul contracts, past lives, you want to know about your future, you want to help making big decisions. Should you move? Should you change jobs? I can answer anything during those very extensive 20-minute private readings. All right, everyone. So any questions at all, email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, or go to my website and find the Contact Me tab. And I look forward to speaking to all of you in 2 weeks on the upcoming new moon in Gemini. And until then, everyone, please remember to be kind to yourself, to be kind to others, to be kind to animals, and to be kind to the earth. With love, this is Matthew John.